You are now listening to About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an entrepreneur and personal coach who has helped people reach their fullest potential personally and professionally. Take it away, Rom.
Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Take responsibility for your own mess. Now, that's pretty straightforward because a lot of times when people can't find a mate, can't get a job, they blame them, the theys, those people. You know, sometimes and I'm using the nicer terms, they'll blame everything else. The alien grays, Majin Buu. Shoot. You know, they said Goku couldn't get to Ultra Instinct. I know some people listening, they like, what the hell? Well, you know, I got to put in some pop culture references. But seriously, many people, they get into trouble, but they don't look at what they did to contribute to the problem. You know, people get into marriages or relationships and they'll blame the other party. Well, this other party didn't do this, didn't do that. Well, what did you do? I mean, if nothing else, you got into the relationship too. You must have did something, because a lot of times people react to what somebody else did. And it's not to say the other party didn't treat you wrong. It ain't not to say the other side didn't rob and cheat you. It ain't to say the other side didn't, talk bad about you. But it's like, okay, what could I have done to prevent this from happening? Or what can I learn from this? What was my part in it? Because sometimes, I'll give you a radical example, bullying. Sometimes it can be stopped just by standing up to whoever trying to bully. You know, sometimes you might have to bust them in the face. Or like some people do, curse them out real well. And that's extreme. I'm not promoting violence on here, but you had to take responsibility for whatever. If you don't do well on some test or something, or if your life ain't going the way you want. Or here's a good one. When people, they'll go on a job and they either don't do well or they show up late constantly, they constantly arguing, but then they blame everybody else for it. I'm like, no, they treating you this way because this is what you're doing on this job. Or this is, just personal situation. This is what you're doing. And like I said, it's not to say the other person ain't doing something or there's some circumstances outside of your control, but it's about saying, okay, what can I control? I can't control this outside person, but I can control my reaction. I can look at myself and say, okay, what did I do to bring that on? And it takes a lot of self-study to do it because as a result of our egos, we tend to look outside ourselves. But see, here's the problem with looking outside ourselves. We can't control that other person. Or we can't control those other circumstances. Only thing we can control is ourselves. We can control our reaction, what we're doing. We can look at ourselves and say, well, what did I do to maybe bring this about? Like I remember a young woman, I never forget what she said because she had dealt with a guy and, he was a real player dog and, didn't treat her as well as he should have. But instead of saying, okay, well, this playing dog, he did this and that to me, she said, okay, I got to look at myself and see what it was about me that found him attractive to begin with. That's taking responsibility for your own mess. It's taking accountability. Because you cannot control that other person, how they behave, but you have a choice whether or not to deal with them. Many people, especially in relationships, will deal with somebody because of their own choice. Nobody held a gun to your head. Yeah, you thought they were cute. You thought they had a nice body, but you wanted them. But you had to make the choice to decide. I mean, you saw the red flags too, probably. You gotta take responsibility, accountability for ignoring those red flags. They were right there. Shoot, some cases you got somebody tell you, it's like, nah, this person is bad news. You can't mess with this person. They'll try to tell you. No, but take responsibility because here's the power of taking responsibility for your own mess. And I alluded to it earlier. You can clean it up. The only thing you have 100% control over in this life is yourself. You don't have control over some people you boss. You don't have 100% control. They just tolerate you as long as they need to tolerate you. You don't have control over your kids. They tolerating you until they can legally move out. You know, if somebody come after you, I mean, you don't have control whether or not they're going to come at you for anything or mistreat you, but you do have control what you can do. And like I said, sometimes you might have to use force. Sometimes you might have to just avoid the situation. But whatever the case, you got responsibility for it. And see, those are cases where somebody, you know, I kind of went at it with cases where somebody might do you wrong. But at the same time, there's a lot of people listening. They the bullies. Some of y'all the bullies. Some of y'all coming after somebody, you know, or some of y'all doing some foul stuff. You got to take responsibility for that too. You got to say, well, hold up. I'm doing this and that. I know it's wrong. Most people grow up with a sense of right from wrong. And some people just doing it early. But then you can't say, well, I'm doing this because that other person made me do it. It's like, no, you take responsibility for that. Somebody can mistreat you. You don't go out and mistreat someone else. Take responsibility for your own mess. Because once again, and I got to emphasize this point more than anything else, you're the one who can clean it up. You got total control over your actions. Can't control somebody else's. You can't even force them in some cases. You have control on how you going to deal with it. You got control over your life. You know, if you need to lose weight, there ain't all these advertisers trying to like tell you to do stuff. Shoot, it's you like falling for it. You know, you knew you should have left that donut alone. Yeah, shoot, you shouldn't have got that extra slice of pie. You knew it. You got to take responsibility. It ain't them saying, oh, yeah, they put all the sugar in there and everything. I was like, no, because everybody always has a choice. And you can choose to take responsibility for your own mess. So that's all I have for today. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and many blessings.
Wow.